Hello and welcome. You're watching UATV News with me, Ksenia Buhay. First, at this hour, the number of daily COVID-19 cases has increased throughout Ukraine. 2,462 new cases were registered in the country over the past day. 362 people were hospitalized. The largest spread of coronavirus is observed in Ternopil, Kharkiv and Odessa regions, as well as in Kiev. Ukraine's Minister of Healthcare stressed the need to intensify flu vaccination in view of upcoming seasonal epidemics. The government plans to provide free vaccinations for people at risk.
In total, 542,000 doses of flu vaccines has been brought into Ukraine last season. According to healthcare institutions, only 238,079 people got vaccinated. This makes 0.6% of our country's total population. This year, we are going to significantly increase the number of vaccines.
Ukraine will receive over €1 billion loan from the European Union. Volodymyr Zelensky signed the draft law on ratification of the Memorandum and Loan Agreement with the European Union. Financial aid will be divided into two tranches, €600 million each. The money will be allocated to acquisitions of medical supplies, tax and customs reforms, functioning of court system, state management, and gas market functioning. The European Union does not recognize the results of regional elections in the annexed Crimea and the city of Sevastopol, held on September 13th. Lead spokesperson for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy stressed that the European Union remains adamant in its support for the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Ukraine.
The European Union has not recognized the illegal annexation of Crimea and Sevastopol by the Russian Federation and therefore does not recognize the holding of elections in the Crimean Peninsula. Anybody elected in Russia-organized voting in the Crimean Peninsula claiming to represent Crimea and Sevastopol will not be recognized by the EU as representatives of those territories, which are part of Ukraine. The European Union remains unwavering in its support for the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Ukraine.
The number of fire victims in the United States has increased to 33, among them one child. For almost a month, forests have been burning in the western states of California, Oregon and Washington. The fire burned down thousands of houses and even got to neighboring Canada. Our correspondents will tell you about the consequences of fires and the danger of smoke, especially during a pandemic.
A few weeks ago, there were green forests here. Now it looks like a piece of footage from some post-apocalyptic movie. George Coble lost everything in the fire, his business, a whole residential complex, and more than 24 antique cars.
We lost all of our, probably 99.9% of our posts and our wire, all of our inventory, and all the homes, 5 different homes, 5 different shops, all the pump houses, probably about $250,000 in antique cars with no insurance on them.
No one expected the fire. This is how Lexi Solios' house looked like a week ago. When the fire began to approach, her family had to evacuate.
Oh my God, Mom, this is our house, this is our...
And this is how it looks now.
That was our garage. And we had just stored up thousands of dollars worth of food over the last few months because of the pandemic, and we are like, oh, we should get our supplies stocked up for things, and all of it just a waste.
Fires consumed almost 2 million hectares. They destroyed thousands of homes. Local authorities have evacuated about 500,000 people. Now they return to the ashes, seeking to retrieve at least anything that left standing.
I don't know what to think. I came back here for the first time, and it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I had seen videos, but it's 1,000 times worse than I could have ever imagined. As far as the red flag warning, I don't know. I just don't know what to think.
The settlements are still wrapped in smog. It's dark outside, even in the daytime. Doctors are concerned that smoke may irritate the lungs and affect the immune system, increasing the risk of infection, particularly with the coronavirus. Not only people, but also animals suffer from fires. Volunteers have organized temporary shelters where animals are being treated for burns.
We're continuing to take animals in from the public and also trying to reunite owners with their animals at this location. We're not sure exactly how long we will be here, and so we're attempting to make efforts to create some infrastructure and to make a more permanent temporary shelter that can serve the residents of Jackson County for, the next couple of weeks if needed.
30,000 rescuers have been fighting in the current fires. Dry weather and strong winds complicate the situation. US President Donald Trump said that particularly the recent years' fires were caused not only by global warming, but also by ineffective forest management. Reported by Yamin Khaddour, UATV News.
A Ukrainian movie about Donbass has been awarded at the prestigious Venice Film Festival. Bedroots, directed by Natalia VorozhByt, was recognized as the best in the most innovative film category. The movie consists of 5 short stories about life in the east of Ukraine and the difficult relationship between the civilian population and the military. Filming lasted only 3 months, including in Kurakhove town, Donetsk region, which is just 10 kilometers from the contact line. 5 kilometers of obstacles, mountains, rivers and mud. More than 200 daredevils from the Donetsk region decided to test their strengths on an extreme cross-country course, Mariupol RACE. Our correspondents got absorbed into the competition.
They crossed a river, climbed a mountain, tried to find a way out of the metal labyrinth. A survival track for athletes has been constructed in Mariupol.
I can't take the rope.
In total, there are 37 stages on the 5 kilometers of the way. The course was made either individually or as a team. Women and men compete separately. Fragile female participants assure that they are not afraid of dirt. Come on, just a little bit left.
I'm here because of the mud. Great, there are so many emotions, different workload. In addition to aerobic physical activity, you also have to swim, run, jump and climb. This is something new for me. I think I'll do my best during the competition. Hopefully, I'll cope with my inner fear. I'm afraid of reeds, I'm afraid of snakes, I'm afraid of river weed, but everything will be fine today.
On this way, the participants test themselves for strength and endurance. The main objective is not to give up and leave the race. This is something very hard. It took all my strength. Due to the fact that my endurance is better, I overtook some of the guys. The only thing wasn't good, I swam badly. But overall, everything is fine. Each competitor has a map of the area in order not to get lost. Doctors keep the situation under control and monitor the participants' health conditions. You see what kind of a cross-country race it is. Any injuries can happen here, so you need to stay alert. The organizers say that the multi-sport race is being held in Mariupol for the 3rd time, and the number of participants increases every year. This time there are more than 200 people on the extreme track. It is quite strange, but people want to bathe in the mud and to leave all their adrenaline, perhaps leave all their negative emotions on the track and come back to their families and work revitalized. The competition lasted 2 days and was dedicated to the Day of Physical Culture and Sports of Ukraine. Reported by Nick Starkov, UATV News.
7 hours to set a culinary record. 150 meters long pizza was baked in Dnipro city In the open air, our correspondent found out how much flour a Ukrainian pizza maker needs to cook a traditional Italian dish of a giant size.
The kitchen for making a record-breaking pizza was installed in the center of Dnipro. Chefs have set as their objective an ambitious goal to bake 150 meters of the Italian dish.
If I put more dough, somewhere the cake will be thicker, somewhere thinner, and it will be completely different. When the weight is the same, it will be all perfect in the same size.
One by one, pieces of the future record-breaking pizza are baked.
12 chefs from different Dnipro restaurants have been working on a huge pizza cooked in the open air for the 5th hour in a row. Work does not stop for a second.
Pizza should be not only the longest but also solid. The result is achieved by means of a burner. 60 kilograms of dough plus 20 kilograms of bacon, smoked sausages and ketchup, and half of a hundredweight of mozzarella. All these ingredients were used to prepare the enormous pizza.
All these have been produced by Ukrainian manufacturers. The dish is Italian, but it is being baked of the products made in Ukraine.
The pizza was given a name, Kozak Mamai. The ready-to-eat giant is measured by officials of the National Book of Records of Ukraine. Its length turned out to be 2 meters longer than declared.
World Guinness witnessed a record. It was 1,500 kilometers. Well, we're just kind of beginners. The guys took a chance to try.
The record has been set, a pizza distributed among the citizens. It was enough for 1,500 people. Reported by Nick Starkov, UATV News.
That was our final story this hour. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. More updates on our official website, YouTube, Facebook and Twitter pages.